case of NRG for this attacking side, trying to find some opening picks. Maybe you're positioned for a lobby and you get a pick through garden or through tree. That might open up a pick very, very nicely for you if you're able to pop. And when NRG faced off against Xset, that was a very close series. But a lot of the edge that did come from NRG on their second half up against Xset, who were at match point, it was like 12-7. A lot of very unpredictable pops that kind of came in their way, came in their favor. We'll see if that does kind of come back to fruition here up against Cloud9, and if they're able to live.
NRG already varying up their first round strategy from what we saw Ascent previously. And it looks like they're going to be pushing in right through mid here. Killjoy Sova still coming through the B main, so they're going to have a good bit of Sentinel utility and find in the site. Let's see what they can do against C9 now.
Oh, Zeta holding lane. Mitch as well, going to push through the smoke. Players are already on the site, but they were waiting for the perfect timing for the players to cross in. Not even a single player will fall. That is not the morale boost you want to start with if you're NRG, but Cloud9 secure pistol #1.
It's kind of like a we got here, but do we want to be here situation for NRG. They're like, wait a minute, I don't like this anymore. Yeah, Cloud9, what a turnaround for that, with the team getting onto the site so quick. You're not even really like kind of fake plant pressure. They had to worry about hitting the shots because C9 was right there on their backs immediately. And Poise usually goes for the Phantom here, and he'll just go for the buy on the Frenzy, so he's looking to save pretty hard. Armor on the Frenzy.
Adventure book. You want to just go back to the original page that you started with.
Yeah.
Just go back. Turn back now. A little bit of a default here for NRG to start. Get early intel. Player in Subroza won't get spotted. That's going to be... I don't know if that's going to be super impactful, but... at least Tex has the ability to push up Cat, kind of relatively unknown. Will he make some noise?
So Android grabbed the alt orb over at A. They're going to go ahead and focus back towards B now. So they're still prioritizing the run it backs for when he can have them. And a good pressure here by Tex. Now Tex is 1, playing for kills, but 2, playing for audio cues to let the team know what's going on. They're going to start hitting the dart comes through. I think they're going to be okay to just take a bit more info here. Now C9 knows how they react.
Yeah, and really see Android with the spike. They were trying to get him 3 points this round. Like 4. Like they were trying to get that ult for that next round. I think they were really pushing for that.
Yeah.
30 seconds but, you know, you needed play the glass cannon build. You know, Android needed to be behind a wall of NRG players. EU. Last man standing does get hunted down to tiles. Secondary flawless. Riv, I can imagine the economy is booming right now. It's the gold rush. Everyone's got a shovel over on Cloud9, and they are stacked right now. Gold nuggets.
Again? Poise is just... Wait, does he have daggers almost? Because he's going to keep a sheriff in armor this round. So they're going to push this money as far as they can. Obviously, everybody else on Spectres, no reason to throw those down, but he might stay with a pistol coming up on this one. We'll see that. And it looks like the rest of the team... Android up to getting almost his ult here. He'll focus this one again on A as the team gets a little bit of control there. And they can already see the placement of the stars. So everybody's a little wary to start off.
They do double back over to B main to secure that. I don't think they will. It's definitely an option.
Right.
But you see Cloud9, they're kind of inching. They're inching a lot closer towards it. So the site hit. It's going to go quite well. At least it's not exactly secure. Tex is on the site, but everyone's still stuck A main. Now they'll finally start to push in. Mitch is just trying to inch closer. See, who can he see on the opposite side? Now the doors close and the retake will have to come in. Do Cloud9 move fast? It does look like they're kind of ready and laying in wait. Stars will go down. Poise on site has the sheriff. Looking to caterpillar his way in, and Android and Som not letting the rest of the team push through. Leaf now on the opposite front. That's a player down, but only one frag comes in. Zeta having to reload the clip. A solid hold here for NRG, but now the money's still going to be good enough for Cloud9 to buy in the round to follow.
Absolutely. 6,400 there for Poise, and that's the operator. So there's the intention we saw on continuous saves for him. They get to start off with hard angle holds now. We are seeing, as we said, it becomes specific, Simo, a few Vandals creeping in to the majority of Phantoms we've seen here throughout the VCT in the later stages. So 2 of those, and we'll see if they can get some one-taps here amongst the operator and the hand of Poise.
This is a pretty important round for Cloud9 to win, I would say. You know, having that operator that can slip away very easily if you get kind of caught off guard, and he's playing in a position where he can get caught off guard. See how much resources, how many resources Beef was hanging around, trying to help him out, ready for a kind of a swing if he did end up falling. Shots not going to connect on Android. Now Poised having to use a lot of utility just to escape. Not worth the cost there, but he's at least going to have another chance with that op.
Slowly taking mid control. They don't have too much on their backside just yet. So they're banking on nobody pushing on the big flank right now. So action here may either be quick or they're going to start retreating a little bit. Yeah, so they start retreating a little bit to make sure that A is covered. It's either that or mid.
Oh! Did he spot Mitch there? I don't think he did with the owl drone. He didn't quite clear it. He was more focused on getting the owl drone a sightline towards spawn, so doesn't play a factor though, as they are going to start to group up over towards A. Zeta with a pick onto TENZ. So now the push down cap's not going to be an impact. There's going to be another ultimate there for Android. Shots not quite connecting for Leaf as Android takes him down. Poised just trying to inch closer and closer. Does he have the angle? Does he have the shot? Has to connect on the turret instead, and down to 31. As the rest of Cloud9 have started to join the front. Push, retake. Mitch leading that charge, has the turret. He wants to bait out a peek. Android, the timing of this curveball has to be key. There's the swing, and now Mitch on the retreat. At least one will fall. There's the turret to give him a little bit of an opportunity to body peek. Does get traded for Android. Floppy. His Poise has also fallen, re-peeking heaven. EU just trying to provide some space. Back away. And shots won't be good for Floppy. A solid round for NRG, an op available to pick up, and Cloud9 lose their economy.
That was a big round. That was C9 stacking all the way up to get that operator. Like you said, a big round for NRG there to reset things, and now they can start to control the game. We said getting a hold of everything early, setting the tempo would be very much in their favor with the style of play they bring to the table. EU standing on top tall with that Sova Android just behind him. And they do have the Blade Storm and the Hunter's Fury to start off this round. They're matching Zetas and a lockdown, so we'll see if those are saved and how they decide to play round 5 as we're here on map 2.
NRG doing their homework first. They know they have the upper hand. With Poise on the opposite side with the Bucky, a little bit scary. Oh, they can confidently swing. Everyone's going to come join. Apps was dead to rights with the amount of players that were ready to die for the success of that frag.
I love that little ladder peek.
Oh, where?
Oh, no, how they laddered out to peek.
Oh, yeah. And now, despite finding that frag, no Riv, it's a big push over to A. The spike was over towards B and tiles near spawn, so they have to rush it back over. And this lockdown makes that a challenge, because the timing of the spike getting there is not going to be enough to secure it. There's going to be the Hunter's Fury to try to take out the lockdown. It will end up falling, but a lot of players fall as a result. Hunter's Fury finds another. This eco is slowly starting to come into the hands of Cloud9, and Poise finds 3 on the Thrifty. A solid comeback for Cloud9.
I feel like we're gonna get a punch for punch here, Simo. Oh my word, econ or not, Cloud9 is swinging for the fences. That 1-2-3 peak, sorry to confuse everybody out there. That was weird terminology. Rivisms are a thing, they're rampant, I'm sorry. But just how they did that, confidence to fly back over after control of just one rifle to retake the site that fast. They knew they had an upper hand once they broke whatever was happening at B, so why hesitate? C9 just a little bit ahead of NRG there, and we'll see if NRG can still hold strong. Blade Storm with a Sheriff is how TENZ is going to play this one.
Got the blades out already. Owl Drone's going to spot out a lot of these players mid. I think TENZ does get spotted by it, as the timing of that was just time. One player does, I think. Someone got tagged by it. Still, though, Doc Darts will delay the push. Smoke's down. They can't quite push in quite yet. But with this mid control, you see Cloud9, they're not really quite letting NRG have the complete freedom to push up through spawn. Yeah, we'll let you have Fruit Market, but that's all you're going to get. We're going to hold it strong, and you're not going to have any of that early space, which NRG are very happy to take. I'd like more.
I feel like a lot of times the patience in that is what I call an audio push, is where you're waiting, hear a footstep or two, know somebody's at least in your area, and if you can collect those points from 2 or 3 spots, you have an idea where you can move up even a little bit more. Information pays off big time. Lead's going to start off on to dapr as things get running with 30 seconds left.
Empress popped as well means that this B push is a problem, so they're going to hightail it out of there, and the A tree Killjoy setup is going to delay it even further. Mitch, how many players is he good for? Good for one. Still floppy now there as well. Android manages to find the frag, but they need to plant. Leaf now starting to chase them down. EU is just holding the gate, just trying to hold them back, but Android, you'll get the credits, you'll get the spike point, but that's all you're going to get. Cloud9 the lead by 2.
Good mention on the alt point. That is the run it back. They have the Cosmic Divide. Blade Storm was used that round, so you'll see that go away for TENZ. But they're going to need everything here. With the momentum, C9 is starting to grab. Zeta is starting to take off. He came into this tournament, and everyone was like, yeah, Zeta sometimes, Zeta this. It's been consistent. This guy is starting to put up more than 2K rounds. He'll have 3v1 situations. And he's definitely a force to be reckoned with here. The C9 squad that's been put together recently is absolutely popping off. And it's going to be tough to stop him here. We'll see if they can continue this. They're only 2 rounds up on NRG. But the way they've been capitalizing on the thrifty rounds, on getting back on the rounds when it is gun versus gun, is quite promising to keep this lead.
A little bit of a gentleman's handshake as both jets just jump peek. Okay, you jump peek, I want to do it too. It looks cool. You know, it's a cool little move, and Aldrone used to scout out who's on the opposite side. Shots were heard from Cat, so Doctor's gonna delay it. Doesn't look like TENZ was the only one to get tagged there. Op, though, like that smoke, but you gotta go. You gotta go. Shot's not going to connect onto any player. So now the spike will get planted. Still, some of these ultimates are available for energy if they do decide to use them. That's going to be the Blaze updraft over. I like that from Poised. Very unexpected for NRG. Now the push in. They're looking to get active on this eco. Force them back. Oh my goodness. This is our site. This is our turf. dapr in EU. Last player standing. dapr still on the flank. He is being spotted out here by Zeta. Now, EU. He's not going to get it.
Only so much you can do on the eco. And they get themselves a bit of damage there. You can see armor rebuys coming in for C9 on a few members, so it does hurt a bit there coming in for Floppy and Poised, but otherwise, it's another big buy coming in here for the side of NRG. We'll see what they can do. Lockdowns there, Cosmic Divide, and run it back. The most optimal way to go about it is to be able to sort these through the next few rounds to find a way to chip away at that economy of Cloud9 Blue right now, but they may have to throw all of it at once somewhere if they can't start to stack a few more orbs. They're running out of options, and it looks like C9 is starting to read them here. They turtle a bit, rush everybody to one site, Simo, and their retakes have just been pretty immaculate.
Yeah, not to mention that the longer you delay using those ultimates, the less of a chance you have another one left in this half,
right?
And higher chance that Cloud9 builds one to potentially counter what you have prepared. Like right now, there's a lockdown available for NRG. There isn't a Hunter's Fury or counter lockdown for Cloud9. So this is a perfect opportunity to try to incorporate some of that utility like you highlighted.
Flank still being watched. They have the turret up towards B. That's going to be hanging out with Poised right now for the side of Cloud9 Blue. So the operator's focused there. It's a good choice so far for NRG to be working around that. Orb's already been grabbed from this position as Sam is just waiting around to make a move for the squad here. Nice hot hands to start off over, and that moves Leaf out of his position. Is it going to work?
Yeah, he still manages to get away. Unfortunately, can't find anything as there is a player that falls, but it's a beautiful recon bolt from Zeta. He spots out 3. It'll only capitalize onto 1 so far. Here's the lockdown we highlighted. No shock darts available as Zeta has already used some of that clear utility. So Cloud9 wants to fight. 4 seconds remaining. Not a lot of time left before players start to get detained. They will back away just in time. Spike still taking 2 players, rather 3 left for Cloud9. Boy swaps to the Phantom, looking to get active. Drop the smoke. Leaf with one. Crossfire's good. Another. It's up to dapr, and it's good from Leaf. They work in tandem to take apart NRG and sit up 4 rounds.
That was something else from Cloud9, but a not should have happened from the side of NRG there with the way they had the coverage on the site. The scatter here that Poised is able to create really just starts to sort them NRG's side different ways. They didn't know which way to look, second guessing angles. Is something else right there for Cloud9 to be able to get back on that round, and it just shows how confident they are in the angles they're creating for themselves, knowing where they'll be, what they'll then take a shot at, and what will be a threat next. It's planned out 2-3 steps ahead, and we just saw it get rolled out there in front of us.
The patience. Fortunately, has to get out. Tailwind not used, so we like that. They'll still push forward though. Oh, as the angle towards the Kench bench. Shots onto Android, but still, oh, the repeat. Now the tailwind comes in. Zeta here to support. Getting a little dicey. NRG have a lot of this control from mid. Still spike back down Cat. The A site's been completely left wide open, but this flank from Leaf, he finds a pick onto TENZ. You don't pay attention, you find yourself in positions like that, thinking Cat is free, Cat is unarmed. No, Leaf finds that opening pick, and that's huge for this round.
Yeah, this C9 squad is putting up some numbers versus teams, but the only falter we're seeing is once they come to close out the maps. And they did the same thing versus Envy. A lot of people questioned if Envy came to play that day, but I think we have to just question, is Cloud9 Blue coming to play even harder? They that hungry right now. We're seeing these plays from them that look quite unstoppable, and the tests are being told right here. Cosmic Divide is up, still have the operator for Poise. Let's see how they hold this one.
Oh, the running headshot. Oh, they find 3 just in succession like that. EU's just trying to hold on to the post-plan Hunter's Fury. That's another one that comes into his pocket. And it's a great round from NRG, utilizing those ultimates to not let Cloud9 have that comfort that we've been talking about. And they'll secure round 3.
Sometimes you just got to flex back to the textbook, right? Just say, all right, Hunter's Fury on the spike defuse. We're good to go. Nice defense. And NRG able to pick them up a very nice round there. Even getting sorted out here in the beginning of the round. Making it work for themselves. And then EU coming up big here in the end. So they find themselves at 6-3. Still very much so anybody's map, I should say. And we'll see ultimates now just up for Mitch here. On deck is Zeta's. And on deck is TENZ with that Blade Storm for NRG. So we'll see what their focus tends to be. And that's even with TENZ on deck, that is Android's all for. You see the focus. You see it, right?
Yeah,
holy moly.
I see it. Like a older and younger brother. You know, the older brother always gets the new shoes. The younger brother's stuck with the second hand-me-downs.
Yep.
Got those DC vans that
and
older brother
and he gets the spike. And he gets the spike.
Oh
One away now.
God. They're just feeding him. He's a chunky boy. Nice and full. Gets a pick. He can use that for a post-plan hold if he wants. I mean, I'd probably argue you want to hold on to that as we see the fight now start to break out. Pop shots. That's going to be Android down. He'll have to run it back, but at what cost? His life. Hunter's Fury now clearing out the wine cellar. It's Leaf there catching the flank onto dapr. Still the players in A main. Smokes keep going down. Boys going in with the shorty. He'll be taken down. And still now 2 players peek 1 at a time. And Zeta will say thank you very much. Cloud9 up by 7.
Zeta grabs the operator. Says, here you go. 11-4. Leaf 11-4. Zeta. And we go back to our kind of head-to-head with Mitch and dapr, and it just does not seem like dapr can get off the ground this game. Holding flanks a little bit, obviously grabbing info. You're one of the last members after the rest of your duelists and everyone's fighting in, so you can't blame him for too much. So it's been tough for them to get those frags, and that means less economy, less lockdowns, less things you're able to use to make that game in your favor. Spikes in spawn currently, so this is probably going to be a little slower.
Say that as TENZ goes hunting. No! Still manages to find the frag, but he doesn't have the blades anymore. He is going wild, pushing back sight dapr will help out and assist with the nano swarm, but look at Android trying to find a lot of space with the run it back. Garden's clear, tree is clear. We can play for this post plant, but the spike's back in spawn. As Cloud9 are ready to fight for this. They find one pick easy. Som down in hell. He's vulnerable, but still he's putting up numbers. That's 2 for Som, and Android will find the last NRG with a solid round.
If you don't know what you're doing, how do they know what you're doing? No, I'm just kidding. Just frag it out, man. Just take the shots, make it happen. They baited him into the site, hook, line, and sinker. Great job by Som, too, to start cleaning up. The rounds like this in the middle as well are good for confidence. Get the blood flowing, make sure that aim is on, not second-guessing yourself. We get a few rips there for energy, and they're feeling good. 4-7. 5-7, and like we said, they get a lot of what they can do here on defensive side, so these attack rounds for energy really, really count.
See some of the conditioning kind of playing into factor for this last round. Fortunate that Cloud9 kind of sniff things out. They do their checks early and mid, and nobody is there, so they'll rush onto the B side here for NRG, and really it's been a lot of 8 hits. Wow! As the door is closing, that might be the door closing on NRG's round. As TENZ is down, Android playing the snail. That's his role play here. Pushing forward is the opposing Jet, and dephh will be able to deal with that accordingly. dapr just trying to play on the site.
Oh,
EU,
no.
the last player standing, and with the spike planted, trying to figure out where he's located. They got him dead to rights. An 8-4 half for Cloud9. Despite it being quite comfortable for them, energy have shown this is not over.
Yeah, 4 is a good padding. You can easily mess with a few rounds here, and if energy holds true to those pistol rounds kind of going to the wayside, it's not something they need to win the map. Here, it could be pressure. With knowing it's second map, they want to drive it to a third. This one could have a little more meaning to it, so they could just go for something full 5-man to a site. Again, I don't feel like we see a lot of hard fakes until after half of the map and a little bit more has gone through. And by that, I mean hitting a site with 2 and oppositely hitting another one immediately. What we're seeing is full rotations, utility used, a reset, and then hits. But the quick takes, I think, now are what start to take hold here as everybody's juiced up, cobwebs are shaking off, and we're starting off the second half here. Let's see how pistol goes, and then we go from there.
I think you bring up a pretty valid point. I think that was what NRG's play style on the attack was looking to be, a little bit more snake oil salesman-y, but they kind of got to that point in the later half. Now they're on the defense. They've switched up some of their Killjoy setups here, a little bit more towards the door, but Cloud9 playing for the window. Poised has to reload. He's quickly traded before EU finds 2 on the way out. Now with Mitch kind of coming in from heaven, dapr was almost in trouble. Android still manages to help him out, but the 6th man in the lobby finds a frag, and energy win the pistol, their first pistol of the series.
As much as I yell at my turret sometimes, it's great. It's a great thing. Always fun to be able to get those frags and keep your focus on what is necessary, and that's the next person. We'll see what C9 decides to do. Now, Leaf and Poise are always looking for a different weapon here on the second round. Poise may just go save. Leaf, okay, Sheriff. Always something. I love it because the potential of those two, or even anybody but Leaf, is that confidence that he's going to come out, he's going to one-shot somebody, he's going to be able to dismiss, cause chaos, and grab that weapon, and then provide for the team a little bit more. So that's always his mentality, to go in, get something, pull back, do more. Boom! As he starts it off.
Literally, as you're talking about it, he finds one. Can he find another?
Oh,
wow,
my word.
He can. The overheal puts him back into the mix very easily. Android just trying to hold on to the Spectre for dear life. Has to reload the clip, and he's going to have time to do so. Mitch laying in wait. Leaf pushing in through the market. There is going to be Som off to the side, waiting for a player. Leaf does spot things out, drops down to logs. Will he bring that lumber? Shot's going to be good onto Som. He's just trying to hold on, and eventually he will fall. Spike is being planted. Now it just falls onto Mitch. A great nano swarm, but it's well-timed from Som to deal with it. Mitch with the Spectre. This could be a factor, but he's so focused on lane. They're pushing together through the stairs. And wait! Whoa!
Oh, my word.
Oh, that was close, Riv.
That one moment when you hold your breath. What a round, though. You see the power that NRG comes, or I'm sorry, Cloud9 comes out with in these rounds, just able to sheriff when they need to. Leave considered a frenzy that round, by the way. And then he went back to the sheriff, so great choice. But that's what makes them so dangerous, is even if the rounds are going to go your way, your economy was destroyed. Everything heard about it. You only left with one alive kind of thing. And that's why it becomes so hard to fight teams like C9, because they'll make the rounds you do win that much harder. Here, we're into NRG, getting the rounds. Let's talk about them. Operator's out here for Tex, and he's trying to hold down mid with pretty good utility still in hand. No updrafts, though, so he's focusing the smokes and cloudburst to keep himself safe.
Timing! Leaf gets taken down by the operator.
Quick.
Now Cloud9, they have to consider that, right? That has to be something in the back of their mind. They don't win this round. Okay, there's an op in play. How do we play around it? We obviously have the smokes. They've already used a few. We need to consider how that moves forward, because still Tex is not really going to let them cross through the market.
The slow peek again.
Like that turret.
Yeah, it's always a tricky one because you want to shoot at it, but you know you take that shot and 3 people are peeking you from down middle. I like the patient play here. Cloud9, or sorry, NRG, knowing they should not be peeking as Cloud9 is taking a bit of ground. NRG feels like they have the defensive positions that they need. The C9 tries to suss out what could be next, and Android's going to find the first of that cavalry. C9 up through tree.
Yeah, this is going to be problematic. Tex is already looking to peek heaven. Wants those shots, and like a fly swatter, poised down, but Zeta on the flank. That's now the op out of commission. Still a 2v2. One player that gets tagged by the recon bolt is out of commission as well. And Som on this defensive half has started to look so good as they find the bonus that they needed. NRG are trailing by 1.
Som and Tex full house there. Double on Tex. Som with 3. You get the operator rolling. Yep. Please pick it up for me. I need that. As they choose which one it'll be. This first shot, it starts to spell a lot of things for the round, because then you saw how much control Cloud9 wanted to put on that. Tex was like, I'm probably leaving already. An opper always changes position. Always. An opper usually changes position because of the aggression you'll find in the utility that's going to follow after you getting a successful shot. There, Cloud9 said, Tex is going to peek again. Let's take him out. He moved, was able to get a second one, and then in the chaos, Som comes up big. As we move into round 16, looks like we're going to get a little split love for the map here. You do see all the way up top, Floppy's still hanging out in mid, so this could go towards A still.
Third is, I think, going to be how Cloud9 deal with the op. You know, you're supposed to use like flashes, smokes, push the op off. They're going to use a turret.
Who's there? Who's there?
Leaf, though, look at this position, because they know the op is positioned over to the opposite side. Android checks, though. Very well done. Leaf tries to re-peek as Android will push the issue. Now things will be a little bit more challenging. They actually use a lockdown. Seems like it'll guarantee the plant. What happens next from this point?
Spike down. Good for now. Oh, okay. That was unexpected. Floppy takes down Tex here, and now NRG trying to make sure they can get in with 4v3. There is a Spectre on Zeta, so this could be a little bit more of a troublesome factor here, but Zeta could be in a one-and-done position. If he doesn't get this first kill here, he will be able to capitalize on EU.
That's huge, because now he has a Phantom, and he can play this passively if he wants. They have to deal with him, and you see one player ascend. It's dapr. Does find the frag that's necessary. Mitch now all in his lonesome in 1v2. One player holding the ankle. I was a little bit too close for comfort, but once again, trusty old Som. Do they have time? Wait, did he just let go of it for like a quick second? That was... You're playing with time, man. 2 seconds, that was... You know, I mean, mind you, going off and on wasn't 2 seconds, but that's a little close.
Little scary. Look at those frags and the score lines for Cloud9 Blue there. Everybody throwing their hat in for this one. It's still double digits almost across the board as well for NRG, which is why you're getting that 8-8 score line. It's kind of it's awesome to see that both of these teams backs against the wall, more so NRG with the back against the wall, not that they're doing it more, can keep their mentality in the game. You know, it's easy to kind of get to a point, especially where for a captain, a shot caller, anybody, for things to not be working and it can get quiet. And silence is chaos, especially when it comes to having comms in a tactical FPS. So seeing both teams still persevere through all of this pressure, the length of these tournaments is super awesome and promising. I cannot wait for international play, Simo. But I digress. We're round 17 here in this series right now. C9 Blue 5 away from being able to lock up the series, but NRG does not want that to happen as we got a little bit of a B take.
Ice in the veins, more like Iceland in the veins. We see Cloud9 looking over towards B. It's relatively free. They've got the ultimate, the Cosmic Divide, but dapr. Fuse waiting by the logs. Expensive lumber. It's what Leaf will find, takes out dapr, and now they've got that site locked down. 4v3, a very doable scenario. They've got to run it back, so technically a 4v4. But they also have a Cosmic Divide of their own. You see the stars starting to go down. Here it comes, the push forward. Now this flash through. They're trying to use Android as scapegoat in. That's going to be the first trade. There's going to be at least a frag with utility from Android, but the smoke will dissipate, and he's all on his lonesome 1v2. Zeta holding from lane. Poised, or rather Poised back sight, but Zeta well timed there on the swing to look towards the stairs. Cloud9 secure around.
All right, NRG has quite a few ultimates here to make sure this one goes in their favor. They don't really have to be working or looking for all orb control from Cloud9 Blue. Not really anybody that close. They could get Poised up to that position, but it looks like it's going to actually be a bit of a slower round here. That full util, I did see the Bulldog for Mitch, so I thought it might be tuned down, but he just looked like he wanted full utility. So gets himself a Bulldog. It'll be fine for him. I love this nade over. That's going to stop anybody from an insta-cat, and you can get yourself right in the mid.
Both duelists, though, are pushing up through B main. We've seen Cloud9 kind of fishing around in prior rounds, but this time they're sending their efforts up mid. This is a very interesting crossfire because on the opposite side is Som. Hunter's Fury used to try to get some early intel. A pick does end up falling in the pocket. Som, who was lurking in the shadows, does find a trade for his team. And a very injured Poised, which I'm imagining may have come from the Hunter's Fury. And another one comes in. The Owl Drone's going to spot out 2 players mid. There's the swing. Mitch somehow will survive. And another. How is Mitch coming up with these picks? Now it's dapr and EU. There's dapr holding the off angle in the tree. There's the trade. Floppy can find an upgrade, but stays with the Spectre. Or being closed. 1v1 with EU. Goes the direction of the door. So now that it's being sprayed, Floppy can play with that. Where do you go? Okay, smoke down.
Ooh. Utilities there as well for you.
Got the recon bolt. And a shock dart spray! Not enough. And I was thinking, I was like, there was like weapons on the floor. He could have picked up a Phantom, but just stuck with the Spectre.
Right. It is.
Around for energy.
I mean, you almost want to take the fight to figure out if he's there. You kind of hear him shoot the door, so you figure it's going to be there. But to give that distance to a Phantom is kind of peculiar. It's still, you know, it could have been a quick headshot. It's either way. Yeah. You know, it's definitely not a mistake. 9-9 as we get into round 19. It's so back and forth now, and energy again starting to ramp up a little bit more, figure out what's going to be able to get them these wins. They do have an eco round now pushed onto Cloud9 Blue, and this is where Cloud9 Blue has basically come out like a slingshot on their eco round. So let's see if they do it again.
This is very similarly to how the match against Xset went for NRG. Very back and forth. There was a moment where NRG were down 5 rounds and managed to swing it back. Cloud9 not quite there yet. Considering this is eco, NRG could catapult back to an advantageous position. We've seen eco rounds definitely go a little worse for wear. Lockdown and Bladestorm available. So as we see, the blades are out. Tex from Heaven does find Leaf pushing in. And you see Poised just trying to deal with Tex, because smoke goes down, he can't quite do so. Lockdown is down, and as they're trying to play for the lockdown, push in, Som finds 2. Zeta gets traded. Mitch has to wait outside. got his keys in his car. Now he'll decide to go back in there, defusing the spike this round. He's as good as NRG's. What a hold there from Tree from NRG. Despite it being the eco, they just shocked them completely.
One of my favorite things to see is that kind of false sense of security strategy. You give the opponent the idea that they have something, and you can kind of see once Cloud9 Blue got into A, if you haven't taken anything or anyone once you got in there, especially on an eco, you're like, I feel very uncomfortable being in here right now because they're looking at us, every one of them. And that's what it was, right? Sam turns around and says, thank you very much. You're all hiding where we need you. And they played that one perfectly for the retake. I love seeing that little false sense of security play there as C9 Blue was able to waltz right into A, and NRG swept the rug out from under him. It's 10-9 as they get the lead here on our second map of Ascent. Haven going the way of Cloud9 Blue in this series. And we'll see if NRG can keep this on, persevere, and push this all the way to match point. Keep the pressure on and take it.
Tactical pause. I'm imagining for Cloud9, Coach Autumn, what do you have hooked up for the strategy here for Cloud9? Doesn't seem like anything is kind of out in the ordinary. Mitch kind of playing still in the same position over towards tiles, making sure that he can have a little bit of presence and identity over here as they try to play a little bit aggressively through B main. They get some of that information too, like Earth destroyed, Nanos delay. The rest of Cloud9 over towards A once more.
Drone and everything, droned out wine, making sure there's no play. I don't think we've seen that play yet, but this is the time you would expect to see those little changes in everybody's positioning. The push already coming out of B is going to alert NRG that they can start making a big move on A.
Yeah, Dap's in a great position. He finds one on the way out as well, just down to Leaf, but he can make this costly. This is where Reynas are born. This is where Reynas are bred. One more. Yep, now the duelists are starting to come through. He finds the flash! Leaf! No way! He gets the ace in the 10th round for Cloud9.
Play of the tournament by Leaf. Absolutely disgusting transfer of aim on the secondary shot, choosing the correct targets, understanding the patience he had and the time to work in sight with EU, and then this, boom, boom. It doesn't get any better than that.
Can you name a more perfect scenario for Reyna players? Like, that is like a wet dream. Reynas wake up in the middle of the night hoping and dreaming for moments like that. And Leaf gets his as we now move on to the next round. Empress popped in just like that. The Reyna wakes up from a nightmare. A quick trade there for Mitch in the lockdown to secure the A site, but Sam very deep back site. Once more, we see that same adaptation from the round prior. Sam, he holds them off as the duelists start to lurk throughout the map. It's a 2v3.
See what they can get. Floppy and Astral. Cosmic Divide goes straight up towards Heaven. That's going to block off everything towards the window. Let's see if they can get through now. It's broke. Oh, break the glass after it is, but I don't think the gun can get through, so they could ability it. But he's waiting for Android. Quick shot to the face. Somebody coming through. Zeta tries to tag him, and it is going to be the push from Tex right after.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Very, very tough one. Fuse comes in 11-10. One thing we have to pay attention to, though, Riv, is this consistent play from NRG over towards B main. It's like ever since that tac boss, they've just pushed those duelists through, regardless of a player playing there. And Cloud9 have, consistently opted in for that A play. You see that once more. Tex and Android running straight towards B main. This will be the first round, though, that Cloud9 play for tiles. If they play it a little bit more patiently and passively, this could be very problematic for Tex and Android.
See how they do it. Daps and Android looking to push out already and get a little control on A, but the focus onto B is correct here for NRG. They're going to hear that drone going up mid, I believe, from their trek towards the B main here. Do they actually want this without knowing too much? Tex is going to be there. They're going to get the help now. Mitch is able to drop Tex in this firefight, and it's chaos in B main, Simo.
They still find Android and Tex in the process. All that's left is EU with 70 HP. He does have the Hunter's Fury. Recon Bolt, the classic spot there for the backside of B.
hightail it out of there.
Yeah, they're gone. They're outie. See what happens though now as they rotate over towards A. There's still a turret there, and you see Daps is within the range of the turret, so that's going to spot players out. Intel now gathered. Alarm bot as well. Or rather, that's for A main. That's popped. And they double back. This is a little bit of a do-si-do.
Gotta love it. Oh, too close to mid, and they'll hear this. Audio cues are gonna be there. And there it is. A few shots just for the peek, just for the play.
Nice
Kind of taunting them a little bit too. As 3 run, that could be an easy pick if 1 is peeking.
30 seconds left.
And they're going to be 3 in the site now, so they get themselves where they need to be and B, that side of Cloud9 Blue here. And they put a new timer on the clock as Spike is down and NRG's coming in with 3 of their own.
Look at all the ultimates though. This is about to get bloody. Do you save it for this round? Or rather, do you use it this round? Do you save it for the next? How do you close this map out if you're NRG? Cosmic Divide, I think, is likely going to be placed here. You see some of those stars start to come through. What ultimate ends up getting used? They've got a couple of upgrades as well. Zeta with 1. What do you plan on using? Cosmic Divide, it's a little bit too late.